What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective, and I'm here for the news. And then recently, there was a professor who threatened and almost beheaded a reporter over abortion. Now, some of these people on the left are starting to be completely whacked out of their mind. Now, we have people on the right, on the far right, who are whacked out of their mind. But anytime you take your political beliefs and make it your religion, your ass is in trouble. That's the quickest way to go down a rabbit hole too deep to get out of. Now, this professor is upset that some people are pro-life. This is supposed to be America, where some people, if you want to be for abortion, you can be. If you want to be against it, you can be. But you should be able to have a civil conversation, and it should never result to violence. But that's something that's starting to happen more and more in this country. It used to be the left was supposed to be the people who had more understanding and was more willing to talk. But over the past 10 years, it has become extremely apparent that the left is becoming even more violent and some of the biggest bullies you've ever seen in your life. Whether it be the alphabet community or whether it be people who's anti-abortion, not pro-abortion, some of the people who believe certain ideologies that the left hold true. But let's take a look at this clip.
Of the left more than abortion, it makes them angry and violent. I mean, you should see how my mother looks at me when the topic comes up. Last summer, a guy traveled across the country and wanted to assassinate a Supreme Court justice over it. Remember, Biden's Attorney General just kind of shrugged his shoulders. That sends a signal. A few weeks ago, a professor in New York went crazy when some pro-life students handed out flyers. Happened over at Hunter College in Manhattan. Just a couple of kids had a little booth set up with some pro-life pamphlets. That's it, pamphlets. But when the crazy professor got wind of it, she started losing it, throwing things. Watch.
And by the way, this lady looks like one of these non-binary lesbians who probably don't believe in gender and is gender fluid and all of the above, all of them pronouns and stuff. She 100% believes in that, and she 100% adheres to that, and she has made that her religion. And a lot of this stuff tends to pivot towards Luciferianism and witchcraft. If you went on this lady's page, I haven't been on there. I will bet my right fucking arm, which I need my right arm. I would bet it. You would find witchcraft, energy crystals, some Luciferian ideology sprinkled in there, a bunch of shit about astrology. Yeah, look, I can look at this lady and tell. This lady is batshit crazy and whacked out of her mind. Keep the video going.
You're not educated. This is propaganda. What are you going to do, like anti-trans next? Is that what you're going to do next?
She said, what you gonna do, anti-trans next? Look at her. She's ready to start bullying.
This is violent. You're triggering my students.
No, she said, you triggering my students. No, they're triggering you. They're triggering your old ass with these long-ass gray dreadlocks. And this PE sweater, physical education sweater she got on. But she's talking about somebody triggered. No, she's the only one triggered.
This is violent. You're triggering my students. No, you're not. Because you can't even have me. So you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what this is.
So the nutty professor.
Now, something like that can get you fired from a job, but I would think that they would, give you a stern talking to and a warning that you can't do that. Maybe in some time on a suspension. But a lot of time on these universities, they have the same belief system as this woman does. There's no doubt about that. So she's not. They wouldn't do nothing about that. Her knocking those things over, but they should. They should have done more from the very beginning.
You saw there is Shellyne Rodriguez. She's an adjunct professor at the college and an artist.
So last name is Rodriguez. So she's like one of them, what you call a darker skinned Latino, well, a lighter skinned Latino, but She obviously has some kind of black in her background, meaning her genetics somewhere, but she's not a what you would call an American Negro. Last name is Rodriguez, so she's from who knows, Cuba, Guatemala. I don't know where the fuck she's from. One of them Latin countries.
Hunter Biden's an artist. So, what does the school think about her little tantrum? Well, after it happened, the school said they let her off with a warning. Maybe she had a bad day. I mean, you should see how I act when Johnny doesn't have my salad ready. But then a New York Post reporter showed up at her door just to ask her some questions, and she almost beheaded our reporter. Here's a video from the New York Post, who's a sister company of the Fox News channel.
Away from my door.
And they gave it a perfect name, Nutty Professor.
Away from my door.
Let's get out of here.
Bitch had a real life Jason Voorhees machete. You see that shit? God damn. You see that whole time.
Here's a video from the New York Post, who's a sister company of the Fox News channel.
Away from my door. Away from my door.
Let's get out of here. You can't do that.
All right, so did you see the size of the knife?
And she was dressed in all black with a little bit of white. Anybody who watch my channel know I cover color schemes a lot, but she was in all black. This lady, I would venture out to say this lady's a witch, and she indulges in witchcraft and the Wiccan religion. Yeah, she's in Wiccan, 100%. Oh, I'll say 99%, allegedly.
That was like Crocodile Dundee's knife.
Yeah, that's a big ass machete.
New York, so that's one strike. Plus, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to threaten to slit a journalist's throat for asking questions. And guess what she did after the stunt at her apartment? She chased him down the street with a machete. Thank God, no.
So she was a non-binary Michael Myers. She was a sexually fluid Jason Voorhees. Only in America. Unbelievable.
But he put that lady in a chokehold. You could get life in jail for that. And can the New York Post catch a break here? I mean, first they censor us, then they try to chop our heads off. When Trump called reporters hacks, the New York Times said he was attacking freedom of the press. So what do you call that? Well, this is apparently where Hunter College is drawing the line. After they got word of the incident, they released this statement, quote, Hunter College strongly condemns the unacceptable actions of Shellyne Rodriguez and has taken immediate action. Rodriguez has been relieved of her duties at Hunter College effective immediately and will not be returning to teach at the school. Now, as for Rodriguez, she hasn't said a word about any of it. Fox asked her for comment. Haven't heard back. But we did find out that she's suing the NYPD for allegedly abusing her during the George Floyd protests. Oh, and another thing, the Nutty Professor calls herself a black Marxist.
There it is. She's a black Marxist. And a lot of people, they probably don't know what a Marxist is. That's basically somebody who believes in socialism, which really is a mask for communism. So what she's basically said, using coded language, was, I'm a black communist. She's a communist. So you have to be careful with these people. Like I said before, all these communists, they have extremely wild religious beliefs. And like I said, this lady is most definitely into the Wiccan religion. But I'm not going to use this whole video. That sums it all up right there. You're dealing with a black communist and a witch, allegedly. But, I just wanted to go over that clip. Some of these things that are happening are getting wackier and wackier. This has been Sports Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective. I'm here for the news. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on the Jason Voorhees non-binary ride. Peace.